Now, there are two things that I want to share with you that have to be in place in order for this flow of revelation and communication from God to the household had to go if it was going to be effective. There are two things that had to be in place. Number one, they must not be intimidated by the voice of their leader. They must not be intimidated by the voice of their leader. They had to have enough trust. I'm talking about the tribal leaders now. I'm talking about the male tribal leaders. They had to have enough trust in their leader that they're not intimidated by their leader, whereas another man is giving them instruction. Ooh, God, this is going to get messy here on today. They must not be intimidated by the voice of another strong man. Oh, I knew it was going to get quiet in here on today. See, I'm going to tell you what's wrong with the church today, and which is what's wrong with the world today. The problem is we got a lot of boy leaders who, whenever they hear the voice of another man at an octave higher for them to handle, they get intimidated by that voice. But see, when you're a real man and you're securing yourself, there ain't another man out there that can make you feel intimidated about who you are. And I need somebody to just holler real quick. Ain't no intimidation around here, because I know who I am in myself. When you know you're a lion, you ain't scared of another lion. They could not be intimidated by Moses' voice. Now, before I go on to my next text, there are two things about the intimidation, or three things rather, about the intimidation that we must understand. Because if he is not going to be intimidated by the voice of his leader, number one, the leader must have integrity. Which means the leader cannot live a life that makes him feel intimidated. Which means if he hugs your woman at the altar, you know that's a hug between a pastor and a member, and not somebody that's trying to push up on your wife. I ain't got no help up in here. Look at your neighbor and say, I trust my pastor, because I know what go down around here. Y'all not talking to me up in here. I hug one woman one way, everybody else is just friendly. Y'all ain't talking. Brother and sister love, the leader must have integrity, which means the leader never gives the man a reason to be intimidated by his presence. Not only must the leader have integrity, but the men must be secure. The men must be secure within themselves to where they are not men with high female genes. Did you? Because there's more men running around here on menopause and y'all talking. Y'all don't know men like that, but I know a whole bunch of men that keep up more gossip than the sisters do. Y'all, oh God, y'all don't want to have no church. Look at your neighbor and say, what are you? Are you a man, a woman, or both? Because you're so messy. I ain't never seen so many men that keep up gossip. What happened to the men that put an end to gossip and you say, you know what, I understand how you feel, but you're not going to talk about my church around me like that? Did I cuss somebody out when I said that one? I respect your emotions, but you're not going to talk about my pastor like that. You're not going to talk about my elders like that. You're not going to talk about my house like that. We are secure men. So number one, I ain't going to get no help on this sermon. Number one, the leader must have integrity. Number two, the men must be secure. And number three, the women must give due respect. The women must give due respect and recognize proper order. If the man is not going to be intimidated by the voice of the leader, the woman must make sure that she recognizes that one man is her pastor at church, the other is her prophet at home. When you hit 7937 Line Avenue, I'm your prophet. I'm your priest. But when the benediction is over and you go home, your man becomes the prophet of your house. Are you understanding what I'm saying? It is disrespectful for a woman to keep telling a man what pastor said. I'm going to get in trouble in here on today. Pastor said this. Well, wait a minute, because I've been asking you to do that for the past 3 years. I couldn't get you to do nothing. Pastor said one time and you... Y'all not talking to me up in here. Touch your neighbor and say two-edged sword. It goes both ways, baby. You can't expect your man to honor your pastor when you give a reason not to. The women must give due respect and recognize proper order. When you want to give your man a word, first of all, you need to make sure you marry a man that's going to be at church with you. That way you may not have that problem, because if you got to go home and tell him what pastor said, that means he wouldn't hear, which means that's your real first issue. I need all the single sisters to holler, my man coming with me. Matter of fact, I'm going to make sure I meet my man at church. I ain't got no help. Y'all don't want to talk to me up in here. The problem was you met him at the club and tried to bring him to church. You did it backwards, but y'all got no help up in here. If this flow